Welcome to another video, and today we are going to do past paper question on food, nutrition, and health for 2023. So that's last year. So one of my students sent me this answer key. So let us go through it. All right. So this paper consists of 6 questions. So you have 6 questions. You have 2 hours, 30 minutes to complete this, and you write your answer in the book provided, yeah? So let's go. So the first question is diet, and this is an easy one. So they say that the diet is a total oral intake of substances that provide nutriment, yeah? And the next one is health. Everybody should know that because the subject is food, nutrition, and health. So we have to know the definition for health. And it's a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. And for these 2 questions, definition terms is 4 marks. So we have to keep note of the marks. Let's go to the next question. State two nutritional related health problems which are common in the Caribbean. And obesity is one, diabetes is another. And you have more, heart attack and all of those. Yeah, stroke, that can be some of the options as well, 2 marks. Next, explain 2 negative impact that nutritional health problem may have on the Caribbean. So we're talking about the diabetes and of hundreds of spends in medical costs. According to the CDA, Caribbean people diagnosed with diabetes, yeah, and have twice the average of medicals than other people without diabetes. So there are 2 negative impact. Another one is nutritional related health problem, negative impact of work productivity. They might miss work because they're ill. So because they're ill, they miss work. So a lot of productivity at work will be a negative impact for persons who are sick. So what they're actually asking about here is you can state any 2 health problems. You don't have to state these 2. And then you can say what are the negative impact as it relates to those issues. So that's 4 marks. The next question, explain 1 way in which each of the following factor can threaten the food security of children. And one of the factors they ask is social economic status. And the next one is infectious disease. And the responses that you give, you can give more responses, but these are just some few. So for social economic factor, you can have food safety. It is also an impact under the factor responsible for poor health status for children in low social economics class. So persons who are very poor or really poor, they will have food security, so they don't have enough food in advance, yeah? And then the next one, inadequate education, especially among mothers, are associated with higher intake of non-chronic disease, non-core food and sweetened drink. So because they don't have enough money, in the Caribbean, quote unquote, you have single mothers and lack of finance. So poverty will definitely play a part here. So they say poverty is also a contribution factor that family may not be able to afford food. And because they can't afford food, they have limited resource of nutrients to go into the child or children's body. So that is a social economic factor. All right, infectious disease, communicable diseases in children may lead to decrease of interest of absorption, direct loss of nutrients, yeah, internal division. So these are some possibility for it. So they're saying subsequently our poor in immunization status, that can also be a factor here. And this value 3 marks. So 3 marks for infectious disease and 3 marks for social status. You can take a screenshot if you want. the possible responses. All right, let's go to the next question. Differentiate between essential and non-essential amino acid. When you're talking about amino acid, we're talking about protein, yeah? So the essential amino acid, right, are those which we cannot produce on our own. So just remember that. So the amino acid have to be produced in the body, and the non-essential acid are not required to be in the body, function properly, but still play a vital role of our daily health. All right, next question. State 2 examples of low biological value, and low biological value would be like peas and beans and nuts. So those are low. So remember, I is different from so the I will be meat and fish. So the next question say, explain 2 examples of I. So I will be from any meat or fish or eggs and stuff. So those are high biological value. They call it HBV. And the low one is from peas and beans and nuts and soybean. All right, so let's go to the next question. 2 marks for those. All right, next question. Explain how each of the following affect nutritional value in food. So the first one saying agricultural practices. And the next one, food purchasing practices. So for agricultural practices, proper farming. So you need proper farming in each country, yeah, to practice such an so the soil can be provided, aerations can cause crops to reach full genetic potential as a result of effective mineral absorption. And another point can be the application of organic fertilizer can increase the protein and carbon dioxide content in the crop field, right? So, and we know what are organic, right? Yes. And then the next question, the next one asks for explain food purchasing practices. So they say consumer who understand food and nutrition label can help to ensure healthy and food products for purchase. Example, if food contain 20% less of a daily value, it's an excellent source of nutrients. Another point, purchasing food that are enriched and fortified with food. So they add nutrients to the food item, yeah? The next one is food preparation practices. So they're saying that generation food preparation process will reduce the amount of nutrition in one food. Different cooking method too can be a factor. So like boiling can cause the nutrients, to be washed out. So you're making like soup and stuff. So all the nutrients will come out of the food item and go in a liquid form. All right. Let's go to the next question. All right, so this question says figure 1 and 2 show 2 children who have different types of protein deficiency. So we have marasmus and kwashiorkor, and those are 2 main deficiencies. So the first picture A, and the second one is picture B. So the question is say, state which figure represent. So for figure 1, figure A is marasmus, and then figure B is kwashiorkor, so the swelling of the belly and stuff. So let's go to the responses. All right, so they say to just tell us which one is A and which one is B, and the answer is there. State 2 symptoms of a child in figure B, and figure B will be kwashiorkor, right? So the abdomen will be swelling and the muscle is weak. So if we look at it, let me go back to the photo. As I said, the belly is swollen, they call it the abdomen, yeah? And then they have weak muscles. 2 marks. And let's go to the next question. Outline multi-mix principle. Oh, this one is so easy. All right, so this is a system of combining food from different base groups to form nutritional balanced meal. So there are groups involve 4 mixes. So you know that the multi-mix principle involve 4 mixes. So you have staples, food from animal, legumes, and vegetable, right? So there's 4 of the food groups that we use to make the multi-mix. So we don't include fats and oil, and we don't include fruits. Right, so these are the responses. Good. List 2 types of mixes. So you have 2 mix, which is staple, because we know that staple is in all of the mixes, and you have 4 mix, and you have 3 mix as well. Yeah. All right. Name one factor that could be considered when planning meals. These are some factors, and we have a lot. Most persons will say religion, dietary needs, culture, your ethical beliefs, the cost, the availability of food, your food preferences. You can put your likes and your dislikes, and all of those would be factors considered when we are planning meals. The equipment, the ingredients, all of those, availability. Next, create a three mix pack lunch for primary school. All right, so a 3 mix will be consist of we'll have a staple, you'll have food from animal and a vegetable. So if you list all of those, then you definitely can get food items. So how much marks is this? Let me see. 5 marks. So it said create a 3 mix pack lunch for primary school for 3 years old. The answer key actually do a calorie daily intake, in which you don't have to, but you just need to list. So for instance, you have your staple. So they have cereal here, animal, and starchy vegetable. So they have dark green vegetable, and they have steam, spinach, fish, brown rice, and lentil. All right, so that is an example. But you could just put staple, and you write a staple food. You put food from animal, you write the food from animal, and of course, a vegetable, and then you will be okay. All right, the menu below is to be served for a graduation dinner. So let's look at the menu. So graduation dinner, they have coconut lamb fingers, pumpkin soup, and garlic butter roll, fish cake, and mango dip. And then they have stuffed chicken wings with peppercorn sauce, spinach stuffed lasagna with bamboo, and then they have the basil sauce, beef, Wellington, and mushroom sauce. And then they have sweet potato mash. They have rice pilaf, herbs, couscous. And then they have Greek salad with feta cheese. And these are this. And then they have the appetizer, which is the mango pie and the ice cream. So let's see the question. Right. So you say, in the space provided, sketch and label a cover suitable for serving that meal. Okay, so they put a cover. You know, a cover is a setting. So they have the butter dish, so you're supposed to label where each food's supposed to go. This is interesting. So we have the salad. So the ice cream will go to the cold food area, which is there. Hot food will go, so I'm not sure if you can see the layout. So the school logo graduation, so this will be the centerpiece, and you have a theme right here. And then this side will be the Greek salad. So this is a salad plate. So they have salad here, so that will give you a hint. So you put the salad dish here. You have the beverage over here. So the beverage and the roll will go here. Not beverage, sorry, the bread and roll. So where they have the garlic butter, you put it here. And then cold food, which is the ice cream and mango pie here. The potato salad here, hot food will go here. And then you have the pumpkin soup. So this one is not that bad. Because they actually give you different clues. So you have the main course. If you look at the thing, so you can just choose the main course and put it there. And cold food salad. So this was not a bad one to get your 5 marks for. That one was pretty easy. All right, next question, question 4. We're going down quickly. State 2 causes of food spoilage. food spoilage and contamination. And we already know what is food spoilage. So the spoilage of food is when you humidity and heat and inadequate washing. So we have cross-contamination going on there. So two causes, sorry. All right, you can put more. So for cross-contamination, of course, you can do if you have equipment and you're using, for instance, a cutting board to cut vegetable, you have to wash it to use to cut, for instance, a meat. Yeah, such like that. So you have options. Next question, differentiate between the following method of preservation. So we have the drying method, and then we have treatment and chemical preservation. So the drying one is when we remove moisture. For instance, in the Caribbean, we have coconut. So you know that you sell the dry sachet of the coconut, so you remove the moisture, so it's drying. Or you have parsley where you can put to dry, and then the sun actually remove it. So these are the possible answers for dehydration. So dehydration, as I said, if you just put removal of water from it, that's good. That's good with your response, right? Micromolar growth and microorganism based on the syrup. And then the chemical preservation would be like acid and sulfur, creating an acid pH bacteria can multiply. So for instance, you're making like a vinegar sauce, or you're making chemical, you're making a jam. So the sugar will be that preservative chemical chemical preservation, sorry. Name one food that is preserved. So drying, so you have dried grapes, you have dried tomato, you have coconut, and this goes on. Treatment with chemical, so you have bread. So the chemical will would be like the yeast in the bread or sugar. Right. State 3 different changes that occur when heat is applied to cereal. So one, and this is a big one. So starch genitation, gelatination, sorry. So this is when heat is applied to the intern molecule. So it swells, yeah? So it gets larger. For instance, if you have rice and your rice grain is small, and when you put it onto the heat and the fire, then it swells, then it get larger, yeah? Molecules are broken down in the process of water and heat, yeah? The cereal swells, as I said, and thicken. If you put that point, then you don't need to go any much further. For protein, then when the heat is applied, the protein structures are disrupted. As the amino acid chain gets disrupted, there are loss of biological additive activities in the protein will result in reduce of nitrogen and retention. And then browning reaction is when the cereal are cooked at high temperature, chemical reaction start to take place between the amino acid and reducing the sugar, lead for a brown color. All right, there you go, 6 marks. All right. Explain 2 ways in which air is incorporated in a batter. So a mechanical one is one of them. It's a physical aerating involving incorporating of air in the batter, such as sifting. So when you sift the flour, for instance, that is one of the mechanical one. When you do creaming, you do whisk and beating. So those are mechanical. I think about the physical, mechanical. And then the chemical reaction now is when you have, like for instance, baking soda, baking powder, self-raising flour, all of those are the chemical action. So the chemical one will be, yes, the chemical would be baking, self-raising flour, baking powder, baking soda. So the baking soda is what they call bicarbonate soda. So those are chemical. And if you want to put another one, that would be, because it's three ways in which air is incorporated. One is mechanical, chemical, and the other one is biological. But the biological one is when you put yeast, like you're making bread or you're making a wine to build alcohol content, then you will have that. but it just asks you for two. So the responses here is just mechanical and chemical, but you also have biological. All right, let's go. List 3 factors to consider when purchasing a stove. So your size is very important because remember you have to know the layout of your kitchen. So you want to know the size, the features that it brings, and of course the budget that you have. List 3 ways to conserve energy when using an electric stove. So reduce the electric cooker, sorry. So you're going to reduce the consumption of the indoor air. So you have to make sure the air is not, because remember to save, conserve energy, you have to have a good atmosphere, a surrounding. Consider power by energy resource, and they tend to eat up faster than the normal up like you have, because it's a heater and then it goes slow. Like for instance, you're using like electric cooker. If you reach like 1 hour, then it stops because it can't go too far because it's electric. Yeah. So it's not like the gas stove where you can turn it off and on. No, that's different. So it run off energy. All right. Illustrate the kitchen of a daycare center. So this is a picture that they gave. So this is a kitchen in a daycare center. Let's see the question. All right, identify 3 types of accident. So you can look before going to the responses. Tell me some accident that you think is happening here. It's a lot of mess. We have cars, tools, toys on the ground here. We have electric wire. We have the pot. A child is taking off the pot because the angle is out, and the garbage. Everything is so messy. The tablecloth, the child is pulling down, and they have teapot. So the dirty dishes. So you can actually get a lot of responses here without looking at the responses and get this one. Yeah. So you can call the cause of accident, adult and females falls, you can fall, you can get wire electrocution and all of those. So you can just look at the questions, look at the image, sorry, and you can get your own and give example of it. So we have fall, we have cuts, all of those can happen. Fire. All right. Electrocution is one of the response. Let's go. Jenny is responsible for making 300 tea plates for a function. Explain 2 ways in which Jenny can achieve maximum efficiency in the kitchen. All right, so they're saying that the answers could be working a U shape, because you know the U shape gives you more space, and an island kitchen layout. It incorporation of the workspace. Then you have the triangle is more to a one cook, such as the layout provide an example. So these are the responses. So just think about it and think about your kitchen space and let's write 2 ways in which Jenny can achieve maximum. So if she have a proper kitchen layout or a proper kitchen or person, or if she have her time planned, how she will structure, then you can write those responses as well. And you have their cleaning, preparation, or to store the food. So you have as I said, a time plan, a guide to organize the station according to how the function you want to work effectively. All right, state 3 reasons for cooking food. This is easy. 3 reasons for cooking food. Why do you cook food? Yeah. So cooking make food easier to eat, make it easier to digest. It is more appetizing. You kill the bacteria, and the list goes on. Easy question. And this is a big question that my students were having. Figure 4 is a diagram showing the section where the cuts of meat are taken out. So you have A, B, C, D, E. All right, so A, so these are the responses, and C and E. So they ask for A, C, and E. All right. All right, so A is a chunk, and C is a leon, short leon, and then E will be the round. 3 marks. That was funny. All right, explain the scientific principle of underlining pressure cooking as a method of cooking. So you know, pressure cooking is a method of cooking as well. So what are the scientific principle on? So you know that because of the pressure, then the food cooks faster. But So they're saying that a pressure cooker is based on a principle which increase the pressure, as I said, in the boiling point of water increasing. So it works capturing steam, which increase the pressure in the vessel. So due to the increased pressure, the boiling point of the water rises and the seal top of its steam stays inside. That builds up the pressure, which helps the cook goes faster. Because of the under pressure, the heat builds faster and maintain the temperature better. So cooking goes at a reduced time. Yeah, is one. All right, we're going down, almost there. Outline 2 steps involving each of the following stage of preparing a beef stew. So the preparations, or the pre-preparation will be what you do before, and the preparation will be what you do on the day. Okay? So the pre-prep, you season up the meat, so you do marinate, so you season it up and everything with your herbs and stuff. Preheat the oven while prepping, so yeah, and then everything else, then you preheat the oven at 325. Don't have to be exact figure, but you put your to the highest heat. And the cooking now, so brown the stew in a batch on each side for 3 minutes. So you just talk about how you're going to do the method of cooking, for instance, your stew beef. How do you cook your stew beef? So one they say the preparation, what you do before, and then the cooking with what you do. So you talk about the steps. So you think in your mind, what are you going to do when you're doing your stew beef? What are you going to do first? So you put the saucepan on, and then you put it on 2 sides, and then you put, so you think about that, and then you just write it down. Yeah. All right. Sifting and garnishing. What's the question again? They say up here, define, outline the steps. Okay. All right, sifting and garnishing. So service and garnishing. So service mean warm up. The table, casserole dish is usually garnished with fresh herbs such as, and they give us different options, parsley, thyme, or ginger, all of those. Okay. All right. And that's the end of the paper. I hope you learned something and you do your